Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to have a go at modelling this sofa and this little scene inside of Blender. So there's a couple of add-ons, in fact there's only one add-on that's used, which is Blender Kit. So that is where we got materials from, and that's also where we brought in the plants. Everything else we've modelled inside of Blender. I'll turn off render view so you can move it around a little bit more. So this is what it all looks like as we model everything, and then when we come to render everything at the very end, this is what our final outcome is. So hopefully you enjoy following along. If you've got any questions, leave a comment down below, or email at design@simon@outlook.com. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is hit A to select everything, X, and click on delete, and then go Shift A, mesh, and bring back a cube. So we wanted to make sure this is the right sort of size to begin with. So I'm going to click it, hit N, and you get your transforms menu here. We've got dimensions down here. So I'm going to use rough dimensions for a general sort of sofa. So Z, so how tall I want it to be. I want that to be about 82, and it's in meters, but if I type in centimeters, it will update it accordingly. Let's do X. I want that to be about 79 centimeters. And then Y, I want that to be 221 centimeters. There we go. So this is the rough sort of size I want my sofa to be. I'll press N to close down that menu there. I'm going to Shift D to duplicate that and just move it to the side just so I've got it as a rough idea of the dimensions that we want. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go to Control A to apply and click on all transforms. Tab to go into edit mode, and 2, or click up here to go to edge mode. So I can select each one of these edges. And I'm going to go to the top view. I'm going to go to Control B to bevel. Open up the bevel menu here. Drag that across and add a few segments, something like 4 segments, just to round the edges off, like that. Then press 3 to go to face mode, grab that face, X, and delete the face. And then 2 to go to edge mode, I'm going to hold on Alt, and then just left mouse button click on this edge here. Go to face and grid fill. Now if yours doesn't quite look like that, you can play around with the span and you'll see it rotates around. Just get until you're happy that you've got it all in quads. I'm then going to 3 to go to face mode again. Hold on Alt and just click on this edge here to select that whole ring. X, delete face. X, delete face, delete that one as well. So I'm going to go to Control R and scroll with my middle mouse button just to add some edges, and that's just to make sure we've got an even distribution of edges and faces, like that. A to select everything, E to extrude, and bring it up a little bit. And G and Z, I'm going to bring that down, not all the way down to the bottom, because we're going to have feet there as well. So let's do G, Z, something like that. So tab, let's go to edit mode and go to the top. I'm going to select all the faces, hit I to do an inset. I'm going to bring that in something like that. 2 to go to edge mode. I'm going to grab this outside edge that I've just created. And I'm going to go to Shift D to duplicate it and right click so it's not back to where it should be. And then grab, oh no, sorry, and then just make sure that I've got that edge by pressing P and separate by selection. Now if I move this down, you see I can grab this edge here, GZ, bring that up. I'm going to hit tab to go onto this shape again. I'm going to grab the edge one more time. And I'm going to press X and go to dissolve edge, because we don't need that extra edge there. So I'm then going to take this and Shift D to duplicate it, and just move it up out of the way for now. We're going to come back to that later. So this is the one here that we're going to start to make at the top of our chair. So I'm going to come to the side. Go. Back, that's where I want, there we go. So GZ, I'm going to bring it down. So I'm going to tab to go to edit mode, 1 to go to vertex mode. I'm going to cut here, turn proportional editing on. Now 1 is probably too big, so let's do something like 5. I'm going to go to Shift Z, so I go to X-ray mode so I can grab the back as well. I'm going to box select, GZ, and drag up so we get this nice constant curve like that. So we've got this sort of shape. And we want to turn that into like a solid shape. So before we do that and select it, right click, convert to curve. I'm going to do Shift A, mesh and plane, and I'm going to rotate that round like that. Bring this over. I'm going to scale this down to roughly the same sort of size as the thickness of this base of our chair. About that. So what we're going to do is I want to take that, right click, convert to curve, and you see that the face of it disappears. So if I select this, now that we've converted this to a curve, we have this option here in the data panel. I'm going to come to geometry, come to object, click on that picker, and I can click on my square there. And you'll see that it then turns that into a solid shape. Now I can, if you make that too big or too small, grab this, scale it, make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to just hide that for now because we don't need it. And this bit here now is what we want. So I'm going to grab that and then bring that down like that. So what we're going to do, let's come Shift A, mesh and cylinder, tab, go to edit mode. I'm going to grab the top and bottom faces and get rid of them because we don't need them. And I'm going to hit S to scale down, come to the top, I'll bring that across, GX, and I'll make it small enough that it's, yeah, that's a bit too far over. Let's bring that GX a bit more. Let's hit tab to go to edit mode, 2 to go to base mode, grab that GZ and bring up. I've got a proportional editing on, which I don't want. Bring that up. The same at the bottom, GZ, bring it down. I want to make sure it's just nice and in the middle. That's GX, bring it across a little bit. Something like that. So what we want to do now, I'm going to click on this, Shift S, cursor to selected. And then I'm going to go to set origin, or to 3D cursor. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to hide this bottom bit here, select this here. Let's go right click, set origin, go 3D cursor. And then give this a save. Okay, so then what we're going to do is let's select this, come to modifiers, generate an array. I'm going to add modifier, deform, and curve. I'm going to curve-wise, I'm going to grab that. Okay, so I need to actually convert that to a curve first. That's now a curve. So now if I select this along here, and if I start to increase the count, see it starts to follow all the way around. Now we want to increase the factor. So at the minute 1 means there's no gap. So if I do 2, it means we want a full gap in between. Now we don't need to have anywhere near that many, so let's have a look. So maybe we want to do a gap of 4. Just a bit of trial and error, I think, deciding how many you want. Don't want doubles or anything. But yeah, something like that. So what I'm going to do is apply those, back from here and click on apply. If you can't do that, it's because you're not in edit mode anymore. You can't do that if you're not in the right mode. So there we go. So we've got this here. I'm going to hit Alt H to hide that. So then what I'm going to do is tab to go to edit mode, come to the front. Let's then to go to edge mode, GZ, and bring up. We'll just check we've got no clipping going on there. We've got a little bit of clipping here, so I'm going to make that bottom bit a bit bigger. I'm just going to grab these and just drag them up like that. So I'm Alt, clicking on the edge and just dragging up. Work your way around. Annoyingly, I don't think there's any super fast way of doing this. Let's see if we can grab all of these. Do it all at once. Z, bring up. Yeah, that worked. Then we've just got these ones left to do. GZ bring up. GZ bring up. I'm also going to get rid of this cube here now because it's in the way. GZ to bring up. GZ to bring up. And a couple more left to do here. Grab all of these. Like that. Okay, so that's right. We're just going to take this and scale it slightly. So let's do S. We don't want to do it in Z, so we're going to just drag it up just a little bit. There you go. So now we've got no more clipping anywhere. So that's the basic sort of shape of our sofa. We do want to bevel these edges, so let's come here to go to edge mode. I'm holding down Alt and Shift just to select these edges. I'm going to go to Control B to bevel, change this segment to 2. It's way too much. Something like that. When we do that, if we then come to Generate and Subdivision Surface, and right click and Shade Smooth, I guess we need to make that a little bit bigger still, so S. There you go. Now to do that for this one up here, we're not going to bevel the edges because it's like curve, so we're going to right click, Convert to Mesh. Now we can do that. We're going to go 2 to go to edge mode, select all these edges here, Control B to bevel, 0, 0, 5. And we'll do the same thing, so we can go to add modifier, generate, and then we have all these with marks here, so you can right click and shade smooth. It's still a bit jaggedy. You can always still up that number if you need to. And then let's right click, like that. So that's the basic outline of our sofa. Let's give this a quick save. We'll come and start doing the feet now. So let's go to the front, Shift A, Mesh, and we'll come to Cylinder. Again, we're going to delete the top, don't need it. X, delete base. And then we're going to scale this down quite a bit. bring this into position roughly. Scale it down. There you go, looks about right. Let's come to the bottom. Drag it into place. GZ to bring up. Control A to apply all transforms. Tab to go to edit mode. 2 to go to edge mode. Select the edge. I'm going to S to scale it in a bit to taper it. I'm then going to go 3 to go to face mode. I to inset. E to extrude up. Like that. 2. I'm going to grab these edges. Control B to bevel. 0, 0. .0, 0, 1, something like that. And then we can kind of subdivision, shade smooth, so we got that. Let's grab this face here, so 3 to grab that face, Shift D to duplicate it, P to separate by selection. Let's just hide that quickly so we can grab this. Tab to go to edit mode, A to select, E to bring down. Now this has got the modifier on it, which we don't want, so I'm going to click X to get rid of it all. Alt H to unhide. We've got that. Now here, what we're going to do is taper that in as well. So let's do to go to edge mode, S to scale it in, Control B to bevel. 0, 0, 1. Like that, and I'm just going to hide that for a second so that we can grab this top face there. Tab to come out of the right mode. That, so we've got those feet, so let's mirror that across. So I'm going to grab, generate mirror. So it's originally X, let's do it in Y. We'll do the same, this one here. Generate mirror X and Y. I'm going to give this another save. And the last thing to do before we start to set up like a little scene is to do a sofa, like a pillow, like seat to go with it. So nice and easy. What we're going to do is come to the top, Shift A, mesh, and we're going to come to Q, scale it down, S, Y to scale it so it's right sort of length. GZ to bring up, SZ to scale it down. Yeah, that sort of size. I'm going to Control A to apply all transforms, tab to go to edit mode again, grab these edges and bevel them a little bit again like we did before. So I think we did 4, didn't we? I'm going to bring that over, something like that. Basically the same way we did this bottom bit here. 3 to go edge mode, face mode, actually faces. Then we're going to face Crucible again. I'm going to get rid of these faces here. Get rid of that face there. Edge select all, E to bring it down. I'm going to do loads of edges again, so Control R to edge loops. Like that. I'm going to do the same going this way. Then I'm going to do one in the middle and scale that outwards. So this is what we want to turn into our pillar. So we're going to come to the physics tab, cloth, and come down to pressure and put that up to something like 3. We can change that number in a second. And then I'm going to come to world tab, turn gravity off, and hit play. And you see that it creates a little simulation like that. Now we can play around with how much pressure we put on that. So if we do like 5, let's give that a go. We can shade smooth. We can add a subdivision. So we can play around with that a little bit more. Let's try that one more time. Something like that. convert to mesh. And then I'm going to grab this edge around here. Well, let's do this edge here. Just go all around, good. I'm going to do the same look here. One, let's grab that. There we go. So then I'm going to go to Shift D to duplicate it. Right click, P to separate by selection. I'll hide that for a second. Right click, let's convert those to curves. Select that. I'm going to bring this back. Let's come to our curve, and this time I'm just going to add depth. Let's hide that first. I'm going to take this. That's Control A, apply all transforms. Then do some quite small, 0.004. Subdivision, bring it back, and then we've got a little edging of our sofa there. I'm going to convert to mesh, shade smooth. I'm going to grab both those and then Control J to join. That's all one. Let's go GZ to bring down. Make sure we don't clip it through. SZ to scale it. Well, that's set origin to geometry, so it's right in the middle. SZ to make it a bit flatter. The top, let's make it a bit wider. SX, make it a bit bigger, something like that. And I'm going to do Shift D to bring it up. Z. Oh, Y, let's do like 0.5. Scale this down, bring it to place. S, Y, make it a bit longer. Before we rotate that, let's make it a bit shorter. Let's S, X, make it a bit shorter. Then S, Z, bring it over, rotate it round. Like that. Move it down a little bit more. Okay, so that is our sofa. So all that is left to do now is to texture it and to build a little scene that goes along with it. Give that a little save. Okay, so to texture everything, I'm going to use Blender Kit, which is completely free. I'll make sure I leave a link to the website in the video description. So let's just grab like a leather for the cushions. Grab something. Grab something like that. And then come to Zero Preview. And we'll just unwrap everything. We'll change the scale of that in a second. Let's then link those materials. Okay, so what we might need to do, let's go over to UV Editor. Grab that. A to scale. Yeah, something like that. We'll do the same here. Okay, so we've got those. I'm going to close my UV editor for a second. Let's then grab some, well, like a darky looking color. Let's have a look, see. Try this, see how this looks. It's quite nice. Let's then grab all those, Control L, make materials. And then I'm going to want like a brass or something there. Maybe a bit lighter, or something like this. But yeah, that's more like it. Okay, so now what we want to do is set up our little scene just to like present it all. So what we're going to do is let's Shift A, mesh, and let's add, let's go with a plane. Okay, and then let's bring this down, G, Z. So it's sitting like that. I'm going to take a sofa, Z, rotate around, grabbed everything. And Z, just bring it around a little bit, something like that. You no longer need these bits, let's hide them. Okay, so let's tap to edit mode. I'm just sort of going to drag this around until I find something that looks like what I'm after. G, and then let's go with Y. G, X, drag that back as well. Something like that. So then what I'm going to do is I go Shift A, mesh, let's do a plane, X 90, want some walls. So I feel like what we want to do, G, X, bring that across. G, Y. I think what we'll have is like some stairs and there's like a corridor back there that you can't really see, but it's like the suggestion that it's there. That's G and Z to bring up. Shift D. Y, we're going to bring that across. Something like that. Now let's go Shift A, mesh to cube, scale it down, go to the top, scale it down a fair bit. Let's tap edit mode, bring it across G and Y, like that. G and Y, bring that across. I'm going to make that a bit smaller as well. G and Z. Let's get one of our steps. So I'm going to grab this, Control A to apply our transforms. Let's go Tab to A, Control V to bevel. Do 2. G, Z. Do something like that. Let's then do Shift D and bring that down as well. There we go. G, Z. G, X, bring it across. Then let's take this floor. Let's shift D, Z, bring that down. G, X, bring it across. G, Z, bring it up a little bit. So let's see what's going on. Let's take this, shift D, RY 90. Bring this back, GX, bring it across. You see we've got like a room looking type thing. Let's add a camera so we can see what thing we're after. We can align our camera view. That's actually not a bad. I'll change the focal point a little bit. Let's give it a 50. Okay, something like that. We've got our camera set up. So what we want to do is let's take this and drag this across a bit more. So it'll look like there's like something going on there. And then we'll do like a little window, like a big old window frame type of thing there. Let's take this, I'll turn material, bring it off. Shift D, X, come across. Make it a bit bigger. And what we're going to do is go to tab to edit mode, bring this up, G, Z. Like that. Let's take this G, move it back a little bit, so it's almost like there's like a little bit of a ledge here. Look, we want to bring this across a little bit more. Y. I'll bring this across as well. G. Okay, so that's like the basic blackout sort of shape of our environment. With this one here, I'm going to Control A to apply all transforms. Edit mode, select this face. I'm then going to right click, subdivide, let's put those numbers. A little bit like that. And I'm going to hit I to inset. I'm going to change that to individual. Play around with the thickness of it. Like that. X. Delete faces, A, E, and drag it. Oh, so that's going to be like our little window frame, so we've got the sun shining through there. Give this a save. I will put some glass in there as well, but I don't want to. Let's take it, Shift D. I don't want to do it straight away because it will start to mess up rendering time, because transparent material always takes a bit longer to render. Shift D, Y. Like that. Okay, so now it's a case of trying to add the material. So let's turn this on here. I'm going to change to cycles, to GPU. Denoise, I'm going to put the samples really low for viewport rendering because it doesn't really matter for now. I'm also going to hide what the glass is going to be because that's going to slow down everything quite a bit. So let's go. Let's type in just like wall. See what we get. No, I want like a something like that maybe. Let's drag that. Yeah, that's looking quite nice. We can play with the scale of this later if we need to. Let's bring this over. UV editor. But yeah, something like that. Close that area for now. I want like a I can't remember what it's called, like that sort of pattern. Let's just see what comes under what. Let's try this. Oh, I don't dislike that. Looking all right, although the scale needs to be the same. Let's change that UV editor. That looks like it. Do the same with this one. There you go, that's more like it. And then we want some wooden material for the stairs. Close this area. I'm gonna give this a quick save so nothing happens. We want like a black metal. Perfect, let's grab that. Yeah, it's starting to look pretty good. What I do want to do, let's go to Shift A, to image, mesh is plane, and I might download somewhere. I've got like a garden image. That GX. Okay, look. Guess that when you yeah, that sort of look there. Let's add some lighting. Shift A, light, area light, G, Y, G, Z. Let's rotate. Okay. Turn up the parallel light. Let's use nodes. We're going to go there. Come over here. Go to change editor. Shift A, go to image texture. Plug that in. Let's go to Gomos folder. Let's go with something like that. I'll change that spread. Okay, let's change that image. It's looking alright, maybe make that a little bit. Not other way. 0.5. Bit sharper. Bit less. Yeah, something like that's looking pretty good. Let's add another light. Let's try a sun. Bring it over here. That'll be one more light. grab this a little bit, bring that across. There you go, that's more like it. Okay, let's bring back that and let's go to transparent. Let's grab this glass here. Okay, then I feel like maybe last little bit. Let's just come over render view. Let's grab a couple of plants. And let's make sure we grab a free one. What do we want? Something like this. Need to bring that down. How's that looking? We're gonna be like, what, another one there? Should we grab another one? Let's have a look. I kind of want to lighten that up a little bit. I'm gonna give this a quick save. Let's bring this over. Shader editor. Okay, let's have a look. Let's do color ramp. Don't like yellow reset a tint, don't we? Looks like a horrible green color. Don't want that. That's more like it. And then if we make this one black. Swap them around. Oh, there you go, that's not like it. Okay, that makes a big difference. Let's come out of material preview for a second. View, area, close area. I'm actually going to take this plant. Now, what you want to do if you're going to take more than one plant, don't Shift D to duplicate, Alt D to create an instance. Because that way it's not going to bug your computer down or bog your computer down loads. bring that up just a little bit. So it's like, okay, let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to give this a little save. And I think we'll call that done. Hopefully you've enjoyed following along. If you've got any questions, leave a comment down below or email me at design with Simon at outlook.com.